Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. We will just start this session in another minute. So please stay on. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Building the Human Capital Cloud Connect. Before we begin the session, I would like to take you through the functionality of the webinar platform. You will see a control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. The orange button on the top right side of your screen can be used to expand and collapse the control panel. Throughout the presentation, the staff will manage the Q&A functionality. If you have any questions for our speakers, please feel free to enter the same in the questions window on your control panel, and your queries will be answered at the end. All attendee microphone will be muted to prevent any distractions. The session will be recorded and the link will be shared to all the attendees later this week. Your participation is important all throughout the session. As we all are working from our homes, I request the attendees to kindly excuse us for any sort of background disturbances. Now, let me take the opportunity to introduce the speakers for today's session. Mr. Sharath Pangnamamula. Sharath heads the SAP HCM and SuccessFactor practice at YASH, and he has around 24 plus years of experience. He played key roles in various organizations as an HR specialist before turning a HR techie. He traveled extensively and played various roles in developing HCM and SuccessFactor competency and delivering key projects across the globe in different verticals. Under his leadership, YASH SAP SuccessFactor team won many awards and customer accolades. As another speaker for today's session is Mr. Nagesh Polu. Nagesh is a SuccessFactor solution architect with over 13 plus years of experience. He has implementation experience with various clients, both from large enterprises to SMEs around the globe. Nagesh is a professional certified in SuccessFactor EC and LMS modules, and recently he has been showcased as one of the featured contributor in SAP SuccessFactor community. He is also one of the player in getting our best practices solution certified by SAP. And further, he is also certified in other SuccessFactor modules as well. So before we begin our session, we have a quick poll questions for all our attendees. Um, so you will see that question shortly on your screen. I request everybody to kindly participate in the poll question. Can we have the poll question? I now request Sharad to kindly take over the presentation.
Hey, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. I think we are having this session across geographies, so two different salutations. Uh, Hope I'm audible. Just want to make sure that before I jump on to today's topic.
Yes, you are, Sharad.
Thank you very much, Aarti. And I really thank you and appreciate every participant for taking out their time and joining our session. So we will try to keep up your expectations of the session and try to make it more focused and interactive. So as Aarti mentioned, please feel free to interact with us through the chat window. You can start posting your questions as the session progresses, and we will be more than happy and glad to answer all your queries. So can you move on to the next slide, Nagesh, please? Yeah. So before I jump on to today's key topic, just wanted to give a little introduction about our who we are as a company. So YASH Technologies is a 25-year-old company. Like any other company's journey, any beginning rather, it starts with small steps. So in 1996, I think we started with two little steps, like two members. Manoj Beheti is our CEO, and then Balanav Duri is our COO. They actually started our engagement with one of the manufacturing corporate in USA, in East Moline. That's where the YASH Technologies got incorporated and started our journey of becoming a 6,000 employee company today. So our journey has been quite interesting, and then we entered our youth in about a couple of years ago, around 7 years ago. And then with a full blown and full energy, we started expanding our service portfolios into multiple technologies, ERPs, and of course, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft. So we started adding up different technologies into our service offering. And so as we are increasing our customer footprints in geographies, and of course, as this requires our presence in different geographies, so we already started expanding into 5 different continents, and then having more than 40 plus campuses. And then we also have got about 50 focused center of excellences to cater to our customer needs and across the globe. And as we are progressing with our the business, expanding the business, so we have delivered more than 450 plus engaged customers, Fortune 500 customers, all of that, yeah, about close to 100 Fortune 500 customers. We have a very close relationship, and we have been working with them strategically and helping them 24 by 7, managing their services and then improving their IT landscape. And yeah, can you move on to the next slide? So geography slide, I think it is more not a very meaningful slide at this current situation. Everybody is working from home, and then still, of course, we have to see that where we are actually physically present. When times get changed, obviously we regroup, but we are there virtually now everywhere. But physically, if you look at, we are actually having about 40 plus campuses, and especially in the India and as well as in the Southeast Asia, we have a very good presence. And in US, of course, we have very huge presence in the United States as well as in the Europe. So this is the important thing, that what I wanted to probably let you know, that we always follow our customers' needs and customers' requirements. So if wherever our customers require us, we actually go there and set up the premises and then work closely with them. And then whether it is a one customer or multiple customers, but we honor the business. So we are more of customer-centric organization. So we have grown organically, and then we spread our geographies also in the same fashion. And YASH is an organization that continuously focuses on improving our processes and also respecting our employees. The kind of especially for an IT organization, the customers and the employees, these are the two important things, right? As eyes for a human being. One is the customer, where we get the business. The other set is who delivers the business. So we always try to improve our relations and our business processes and give the best experience to our customers. And the same fashion, we also do the same thing with our employees. We get engaged with them. We try to involve them in every aspect and then give them the best career in the organization, try to retain them. So, and typically an average, the stay of an employee in the organization is close to 8+ years. So that's one of the kind of a benchmark for us as we, in this kind of world, where attrition is very high in the IT services, but we got a very lowest attrition rate recorded. And the rate, the accolades, rewards, what you see on the screen is one is on the from the CMM level 2.0 certification. This is basically given for an organization for who actually manage their delivery and services, with the highest competency, and then improving their quality and ensuring the quality from time to time. So this certification is, in fact, YASH is one of the first company that acquired this 2.0 certification in 2019. And similarly, YASH has become a habit of becoming a great place to work. We started participating in this from 2014 or 15 onwards, and from there onwards, continuously year on year, we are actually great place to work. In fact, our rating is always below 25. First to number 1 to 25, we are in that range. So it is improving our ranking year on year. So what it means is that we are on an organization that cares so much for the customers as well as so much for your employees. So can you move on to the next slide? Yeah, this is our service portal. As I mentioned, that we are actually an organization primarily started with SAP services. And of course, our bread and butter is majorly on SAP services. About 70% of revenues come from SAP, and we also have the other services like the Oracle, Microsoft, and other ERPs as well. And we actually have a relationship with SAP, especially on the managed services. We got different certifications with different technology organizations for our expertise, and we also AMS global AMS partner with SAP. So what it means is that we actually work with very closely with SAP, and we help various customers in managing their SAP landscape and services. And we also work closely with SAP on a back-to-back model, where SAP actually help us, acquire the customer, and they ask us to deliver the support services and implementations and so on and so forth. So this is what indicates is that our strong relationship with SAP, our presence and our capabilities in the technology space. Yeah. And coming to our other important services and technology areas where we have strong capabilities is SuccessFactors. So SuccessFactors is SAP's cloud HR application, and in fact, SAP acquired this company SuccessFactor in 2012. And of course, YASH as a company which has got relationship with SuccessFactors well before SAP acquired this. I think we started doing implementations and helping our customers well before SAP acquired. Maybe around 2007, 2008 onwards, we were actually engaged in delivering SuccessFactors solutions. And after SAP acquired, it is actually, the entire landscape of SuccessFactors got changed a lot. And there are a lot of other components that SAP introduced, and SAP is continuously investing to improve this. And it has made a complete HR lifecycle management application, right from the recruitment or onboarding to employees exit. The whole process, HR process, are now being catered through, and then top of it, it is being powered with people analytics, which is one of the important analytics tool. And also besides that, there are a lot of other innovative apps that are getting integrated with SuccessFactors in terms of automation and artificial intelligence and improving the experience of the employees and on a day-to-day basis. So as you look at the screen, I think we have different modules listed there. So we do everything from core HR to the payroll on the service, on the SuccessFactors. So we have expertise of more than 170 plus consultants. And these consultants are certified. The important thing in SuccessFactors, unless the employee or consultant is certified, they are not allowed to get into the application and do the business. So yeah, so that's they can't do the implementation services. So that's where we have the certification, and most of our consultants are multi certifications. So they have expertise in different modules. And we have more than 150 plus customers as on today that we help them to implement, and also help them in doing HR transformations of from their on-premises to cloud. So we got a lot of customers across the globe. So that is something we'll showcase in our next slide. And the right-hand side, what you see is our services. So we do everything like implementations and then engage with you in terms of the other important service is that we do health factor check, where in case you already have the SuccessFactors and let's say you have only a couple of modules implemented, and you are looking for somebody to really, because you're not really leveraging the complete capability of the application. So that's where we can step in and we can offer a couple of days workshop for you at a free of cost, and then do a diagnostic services and how your application is running on, and then what is that you're currently using, what is that you're not able to use. So we call it as health factors. So we do that service. We offer that, in fact, free of cost for a lot of our prospects to get engaged. So I request everyone to leverage that. And we won number of accolades from SAP, especially on the SuccessFactors, continuously year on year. And that's one of the such accolade is where we have actually productized SAP SuccessFactors, which is called SuccessFactor One. We call it SFOne Pro. And this is what actually going forward, you will get to know more about it, how it is really going to help for your business, being the HR leader, and then what way it is going to support your transformation engagements and all that. Nagesh will brief you on that. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah, so this is our customer logo. So each one of it has got a kind of an experience to share. For example, Unlock Devices, where we did a complete success factor implementation and rollout across the globe. And then WebAsh. And then if you look at some of the Southeast Asia customers like Darussalam Assets and then Baiduri Bank, where they're present in Brunei. And then and each Dinata, of course, where we are extending HCM services. So we got each one of it has got a lot of success story to talk about. So in the interest of time, I'm not really touching up the details of it, but this is what actually it indicates. So what it means is that we actually have the experience of working different verticals. Of course, HR is not merely a vertical specific, it's more of a geographical and country specific. So we have country specific experts also, part of our consulting team, where we have the regional teams based in different regions. As I speak, I have set of people sitting in our Singapore office catering to our Australia region as well as the entire Southeast Asia countries. So we have the local experience and then the global expertise. So that is the kind of blend that we actually carry to any of our engagements. Yeah, can you move to the next slide? Okay, great. So this is what it is going to be today's focus. So I think the key trends, as most of you are already experiencing, that being due to the pandemic, every organization is looking how to optimize their workplaces, how to reorganize. That's one of the key challenges that every organization is facing on globally, and it's not one country or one region, it's across the globe. And HR leaders being the part of key contributors in giving the thought process and doing this. So they are really looking at what are the different technologies we can leverage and really do this, meet the challenges that are thrown by this pandemic. I think one of the other key challenges is that upskilling and reskilling the employees and then acquiring the talent for during this pandemic times. That's where when we interact with most of our customers, they're saying that do you have something really good tool that will help us to quickly reskill and quickly train our employees with the different accelerators of learning and so that our employees get reskilled and our employees' experience will improve because they are working from home. So we are more cautious about their well-being, and we need to know that, and we need to constantly get engaged with them. So they are looking something now, an application that actually does everything, during the pandemic and of course post-pandemic as well. So these are the challenges that every HR leader, of course, part of the organization, they are facing on. I think with this focus, we want to share our SFOne Pro, how it is really going to help the organization and the HR leaders, in doing their entire transformation and then managing their today's challenges as well as the future challenges. So I take a pause here and I will hand over the floor to my colleague, Nagesh. Nagesh, I will drive the further from here on. Thank you very much. Over to you, Nagesh.
Well, thank you, Sharath. Aarti, would you like to post a poll?
Yes.
Before I begin, yeah.
Yes. So, attendees, due to some technical reasons, the first poll didn't went live earlier. So we are launching it again. Request everybody to kindly participate into it. Yes. So the first question is, are you aware of cloud-based human capital management software suite? Please select the relevant option. The next question is, do you use HRM or HCM system in your organization? Please select the relevant option. Okay. Thank you, attendees, for participating in the poll question. Over to you, Nagesh.
Thank you, Varti, and thank you, Seth. Thanks for sharing the key trends. Yes, I mean, I guess the world started, seeing them happening. And thank you once again, Arti, for the quick introductions. All right. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nagesh Polu. I'm part of YASH from 13 years, past 13 years. I'm a SuccessFactors solution architect. Having said that, without wasting any time, let me quickly jump into today's agenda, building the human capital cloud connect. So this session is all about, how and what you need to do to build, or let's call it as a bringing the cloud experience, how to plan your transformation and the importance of digital transformation. Any organization, before it plans to digitalize or to connect the cloud, there are a few questions, that would really pop up. Why do you need to connect the cloud? How do we connect? And what are the options available for connecting the HCM to the cloud? And again, finally, I mean, you'll start thinking who will really help us to perform these kind of activities. So before I go there, let me remind you, we will have a good interactive session at the end of the session, and we'll take all the questions and we'll try to help you to understand the solution as much as possible. All right, if you see the slide title, Time to Reinvent HR. So, let me explain you why. Please excuse of, bringing a lot of whys and whats for today's session. So as we always try to see ourselves as a customer, whatever we speak in a session, it will reflect your culture, I promise you, okay? The modern HR landscape is changing at a rapid pace. I hope everyone in this session is with me on this point, right? So when it says, time to reinvent HR, here we are talking about the importance of digitalizing your HCM. But why is the right time to do it? There are a number of reasons. But first and foremost, seeing the rapid changes in the HR vertical. You should be able to, the first reason would be like you should be able to cope up the current global talent war. We have been seeing many companies facing this heat when it comes to recruiting, then acquiring, and then the most important, retaining the critical talent. We are all in a world of where, companies are now competing in a new battlefield. Gone those days where the competition is just between your turnover statements. The reason behind is the employee expectations are changing day by day. Maybe directly or indirectly, I can say, the pressure of employee engagement is equally affecting the growth of individual as well as the organization. Hence, the company started, connecting HR to the cloud and started thinking about the digital transformations. So when I say companies are opting, you might start thinking, can we digitalize our HR process? Yes, of course. Let me tell you, there are some very minimal credentials one should have, for going for the digital transformation. As you see on the screen, if your company has a minimum of 20 to 25 employees and have a formal IT or a HR department, whatever you call, and you need to have a clear goal with, good database of your employees. That's it. It's that simple. No organization really needs to have greater qualifications to transform or to connect the cloud, right? So, but then we see many companies qualifying for the same, still see, the IT teams or the HR representatives or the SPOCs we meet, they always come up with a list of challenges they foresee or the expectations, the expectations really vary from client to client. Let us see, what challenges they have in adopting HR transformation or initiating their digital journey. So first and foremost, it's obvious. We always see people talking about affordability. Many organizations, they feel that it's a costly affair adopting innovation. And if they are ready to adopt, Then they started facing a challenge and, finding a trusted partner, even though they are able to. They again, they see partners, estimating going beyond their IT budgets or maybe going beyond their expected timelines. So, which was a major reason, to shelve major HR digital transformation journeys. I mean, we have been seeing globally many companies, they started their, thinking about digital transformation, but again, they shelved their projects. So, we weren't all surprised, to see these challenges, and then taking these challenges into consideration. We then, we extended our interview or requested them to provide the list of expectations they have, or maybe the necessities they feel they need before, connecting to the cloud. So the first point, taking affordability into the picture, they need a fixed cost solutions. They're expecting partners to come up with a fixed cost solutions. And many customers, like I said, most of the customers we met, convey that we partners should come up with a fixed cost kind of solutions that should, again, fit into their budgets. Keeping budgets aside, customers are also looking for a solution where they'll be able to pick up what they need as per the current requirement or the current scenario, and be obviously be able to extend the system in the future as a company grows or the employee count grows, right? Also, they're looking for a solution that can be implemented, or maybe they can jumpstart the transformation project or connect to the cloud within no time. Well, to be precise, what we understood is the solution should be ready in no time, accompanying their budgets, and the most important, to be able to leverage their existing landscape with a new solution. So from knowing the list of challenges and the expectations, we carved out something really good out of SAP SuccessFactors, which I will introduce in some time. I can promise you, it's a magical solution that will clearly, call out all your solution, all your problems, and it will be a really go-getter solution. So before I talk more about the magic solution or your go-getter, let me take a step back to clear your questions on who would help you in the transformation. Keep your eyes and ears open, please. As we do have a surprise for you, as I said, the solution is too good, and which will be like a one single answer for all your questions. Okay. Before I introduce the solution, let me brief about YASH and YASH SuccessFactors services. YASH SuccessFactors services, as introduced by Sharath in previous slides, we take care of end-to-end activities pertaining to SuccessFactors. Let me first talk about maybe the implementation. We have tons of experience in terms of implementations, as mentioned by Sharath. We have been implementing SAP products from past 20 years or so. Taking all that experience, we have carved out a scientific approach, which includes a proven YASH proprietary methodology. We call it as S-Simple. We took the best out of SAP Activate methodology while incorporating few proof of concepts and sprint cycles to make it more agile in nature. We have proprietary test scripts, we have training materials ready, and the best part, we do have our own data migration templates, which will lead to a successful implementation with no strings attached, I promise. Coming to our integration capabilities, we have a dedicated COE over here, and which consists of most experienced consultants globally, who have great deal of experience with tools like, as you see on the screen, SAP CPI, Dell Boomi, Azure Logic Apps, whatever you name it, we are ready. Our team is ready to go ahead. We have done some magics, using these integration tools globally. In fact, I can tell you a few places we have automated most of your HR process using these wonderful tools. As you see on the screen, we have a deep expertise in integrating SuccessFactors with third-party HCM tools, or maybe your third-party payroll systems, and again, taking latest SAP technology, latest trends, like we started working on IAS, IPS, like Identity Administrative Services, and yes, obviously a single sign-on or a multi-factor authentication kind of services. So other than that, other than implementations, or maybe you can call integrations and support, we have a unique service called Health Factors. As you see on the screen, the Health Factors is all about, we offer health check assessments for your ongoing implementation, or maybe on your existing SuccessFactors or SAP HCM instances. This will help you to diagnose, any system issues, and in return, we provide a detailed diagnostic report, which will enable you to be back on the road to recovery. Interesting, right? Again, a part of health factors, yes, I mean, integration and data migration reviews are focus, are focus supported by experienced and qualified consultants. Part of this health factors, we have only all the professional certified consultants, and all of them are, I mean, globally professionally certified. But again, you might start thinking, why and who should be considering our health factors? Any customer seeing list of issues growing, or any customers, if you're not sure of activating your half-yearly upgrades, or maybe any customer probably, I mean, planning to enable new functionalities, but you're unsure about the available options. I mean, we did around 10 plus assessments in past 2 years or so, where we were able to deep dive not just into their success factors landscape, but also we tried helping customers to adapt new changes, that are happening globally. We took out all the challenges globally, and then we guided our customers to understand the latest happenings. And then based on that, we have given a clear, in-depth analysis of each and every point. All right. We spoke, as I said, we spoke about challenges, we spoke about your expectations, we spoke about YASH and YASH services. But what makes a YASH a better partner? That's the biggest question. So let me tell you, let me take the privilege to introduce a SAP qualified prepackaged solution, SFOne Pro. The Pro version of our erstwhile SFOne is now powered by People Analytics Story Edition, which means it's not just digitalizing your HR process, but our solution will also help you to improve in decision making. Great, right? I can tell you, I mean, this solution is second to none. As I said earlier, we consider each and every minute point of yours, and your go-getter is ready. So let me keep the ball rolling. Time to see, let me tell you the value proposition, what we are bringing with SFOne Pro this year. So the SFOne Pro comes with all, as you see on the screen, pre-configured content of the core HR and all your talent management modules, a pre-configured best practice instance coming with a fixed scope that can be extended at any given point of time. The solution comes with a built-in data migration templates, as I earlier mentioned. We have predefined test scripts and whatnot. I mean, even the training accelerators are ready. Hence, you'll see a speedy deployment, reducing your overall costs and implementation timelines. Let me show you or talk about more about how SFOne Pro implementation looks like, or the typical how does it looks like, and how much time would it take for us to implement and make it ready for you. So coming to typical timelines, as I said, it would be around 6 to 14 weeks. Depending on the module you pick. For instance, you pick the core HR, as you see on the screen, Employee Central, it would be taking under 8 to 10 weeks for us, followed by Talent Suite. It would take around 6 to 8 weeks per modules, which means your system is ready within no time. Cool stuff, isn't it? And now you might start thinking, you might start thinking, if we select all the modules, is it like we need to combine all the timelines? Which is again going beyond your expectations, right? No, based on your requirements or on your comforts, we will plan the implementation, which means we'll implement the required modules parallelly. Maybe let me put an example, okay, so that you'll be more understanding about this. So as you see on the screen, for the Employee Central, it will take around 8 to 10 weeks. And then the performance and goals management, as you see on the screen, around 6 to 8 weeks. Both the respective module expert will start working parallelly, and by the end of 10th week, you'll have both the modules live. It's that simple. Let me tell you in more simpler, or maybe I think I should put it in more layman language. SFOne Pro is like, we activate the solution, you will be testing end-to-end. As soon as you're done, your system is ready. Boom. Cool, isn't it? I mean, that's why we call it as your go-getter solution, the magic solution from YASH. So in a nutshell, as you see again on the screen, our SFOne Pro gives you the opportunity to start anywhere and go everywhere, which is like you pick any module, or you pick the entire suite, or you can select one module now, experience it, start using it, and then based on the requirement or based on the your team size, you can start extending the SF suite. That's why I always call it as a magic solution. With SFOne Pro, you're ready to go. Within no time, the solution would be ready and you can start working on it. So coming to our story, so far as you see on the screen, we did around 50 plus implementations from past 2 or 3 years. And then the highest user base is around 1,000 plus users. And again, as I told, the lowest is around 25 employees, which means, I mean, there is no question. You can start using it even though if you have 20 plus users. And as we spoke earlier, the typical timeline is around 16 to 14 weeks. Again, always remember it depends on the modules you pick. So again, coming to future readiness, I mean, we are always ready to go with the latest technologies coming from SAP side. Let me also take a privilege announcing that, we were one of the few partners who implemented onboarding 2.0 initial stages. In fact, we were the first implementation partner in this where we implemented onboarding 2.0. And then as you see on the screen, all sources, and we have working with this everything goes closely from starting initially, I mean, on the chatbot, we have just a lot of resource time building our own proprietary chatbots, and we are also working with the SAP bots to bring for each and every module. And as I said, yes, we are future ready. And coming to differentiation, I mean, you have seen what difference we make with the SFOne Pro. But again, overall, Successfactors is like, I mean, I can tell you that, we are coming up with the DD exercise. As you see on the screen, we already have completed 1.3 plus implementations globally. And then we have the best package solution. Let me also mention that we have provided the best qualified solution as SFOne Pro is the best solution for 2020. Provided by SAP, and then on the basis and data migration, I mean, we do all the magic, as I said, we have automated processes of many of our customers. We can bring a lot of case studies to it. And coming to health assistance, yes, this is a very unique service that we have been doing in the past 2 years, and we have been very successful, providing the data and the gap analysis, what they require, and we have also, as I said, we have been deep diving into the HR process and then helping them in all means. And finally, the support part, this is one crucial thing, where we bring a differentiator. Like, we are one of the few SAP global AMS partners where we work directly with SAP customers. It's not just YASH, but again, we also help SAP customers on support part. Having said that, I mean, I would like to hand it over to Arthi, but before that, let me thank you all for joining this session. Hope we were able to accommodate most of your queries. As I said, we always try to step in your shoes and think on your behalf, and then we cover these sessions. As I said, if you still have any questions, you can always reach us, email us on any information you require on the product, or even if you need a quick demo, yes, we are ready. Thank you. Thank you once again. Aarti, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Nagesh. That was a really wonderful session, and the energy is really contagious, I must say. So attendees, we will just have the last two poll questions on the screen before we move on to the Q&A session. So Raj, would you like to launch the last two poll questions on the screen? Okay. So the third poll question is, are you looking for a comprehensive HRM solution? Please select the relevant option. And the last poll question is, would you want to opt for a free demo workshop? So with this, we close the poll questions. Attendees, I would request everybody to please write their questions in the question window, and we will take it up with the speakers. Meanwhile, we have the first question, speakers. The question is, can I start with a single module or a function? For example, if we want to implement only one module like LMS.
Yeah, so Aarti, let me take this question. So yes, I mean, yes, as I told you, like you can pick any module from the SS suite and then you can start experiencing it, right? So let's say like what Aarti asked, I mean, you can start with LMS and start experiencing it, and then based on your company growth or whatever you feel, like you can pick other modules. I mean, the journey can keep on continuing. It's not that you have to pick entire suite and you need to go for a big bang approach. No, the solution is very much open. You can start with LMS or you can go with PMGM, whatever the module, or you can just pick core HR solution, get ready, and then maybe in past, I mean, later years, you can always pick other modules.
Okay. The next question is, what level of localization is offered by SFOne Pro?
Okay. So Sharath, would you like to take, or shall I go ahead?
Please go ahead, Nagesh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. On the localizations, I mean, as I said, SAP supports 40 plus languages, as well as each and every, like 96 plus countries, we have already localization set up, like when it comes to policies, when it comes to, for example, the best example I would take is like, getting your, maybe let's take an example of your ID card. So as soon as you select your ID card, SuccessFactors has the capability to identify what kind of identification cards would be required by an employee, or maybe the policies on your time management or on your time sheets or on your benefits. All the localizations are currently available. And coming to our SFOne Pro, we took out, based on our experience, we have ensured all the localizations are covered based on the country or the continent. Like for example, I can tell recently we did one of the implementations in Brunei. Even though SAP doesn't have it officially, but our SFOne Pro, we carved out some solutions for Brunei region where, client was ready to start within day one. Like once the testing is done, the implementation done, they are ready with their own localizations in terms of time off, in terms of benefits, in terms of document collections and all. Yes, the system is localized, and currently SAP supports 40 plus languages and supports 96 plus countries. Yeah.
That's great. Moving to the next question. Do we get any product updates? If yes, will it come with an additional cost?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Yeah, Sharath, you would like to take it?
Yeah, I'll take up that. So SuccessFactors is basically a subscription-based model. It works pay as you use, and you can use as per the modules that you subscribe and the number of users you subscribe. So this is an annual subscription is what they charge, and this includes everything. So you don't have to pay any extra cost in case for the new upgrades that SAP SuccessFactors team releases on a half-yearly basis. So there are 2 releases that SAP SuccessFactors gives in a year. So it's on a half-yearly basis, and this includes a lot of new features and functionalities of specific modules. So in case you have that particular module already implemented, you can go for it, you can look at it, and you can just download that through your admin church, settings, and then you can apply the same. And in fact, it's not only free of cost. Even to apply that into your instances, you don't need a huge team or a support team to do that. This is something that you can actually do by your own team. As we do part of the implementations, we extend the super user training. These super user trainings includes or probably enables your super users, your own employees, to actually manage the system as it requires, by your own organization. So you can just download that, and then you can apply that in the instance and then do the testing, and then that's it. You're there. So it is as simple. So there is no additional cost in terms of the licensing, and there is no additional cost in terms of the resourcing and applying it into your system.
Okay. And I have a follow-up question to it is, do we need to spend extra for getting the HR analytics?
No, when you go with SFOne Pro, as I said, our erstwhile version doesn't has it, but now the latest SFOne Pro has the people analytics embedded, which means we will be enabling all the IAS, IPS, the requirements like identity, administrative service and all. And then yes, from day one, you have stories live where you can build that beautiful dashboards. And part of our package, we are coming up with 5+ reports. We will enable them. And going forward, we'll train you so that, you can build your great dashboards and ensure that, you get your analytics or deep insights into your organization from day one itself. So it's entirely, totally free. There is nothing called, again, we are going to have charging you for HR analytics. No, it's part of our package, and it would be readily available from day one itself.
Okay, that's nice. There's just last question that I think we can take up for today. Is there an on-premise version of SFOne Pro?
No. So when it comes to SuccessFactors, it's all about cloud. There is nothing called on-premise solution when it comes to SuccessFactors or even the SFOne Pro. So basically, the SFOne Pro is built on top of SuccessFactors. SAP is coming up with a HR suite, and on top of it, we have taking our experience and taking localizations into picture. We have built it on top of SuccessFactors. So which means it's a complete on-cloud solution.
Okay. So, Sharath and Nagesh, before we close on today's session, any closing notes from both of you?
Yeah, thank you, Aarti, for managing this Q&A session, and we'll be glad in case most of the participants, they have they probably will have some questions, so they can write to us, or I hope you're going to share that mail ID, and we can actually still answer those questions post this session as well. So that's important. And see, the key idea is of this particular webinar is get you the feel of what are the key trends the organizations are facing, and from a technology standpoint, what kind of technologies are readily available in the market, which are really, cost efficient, and then yet ensuring that they actually deliver whatever that is required for an organization to meet the current and future challenges, HR challenges. I think in that context, our success factor SFOne Pro, which is really being designed in such a way that it is can be leveraged within short time, bringing down usually the implementation timelines more than 40% down, which means saving of your time is saving of cost, right? So we have actually done that. We bring in a lot of expertise in developing this particular piece and getting it certified. And there are a lot of templates and accelerators we built in part of this particular SFOne Pro package. So when you are buying something, it comes with everything. It's not just a typical subscription for a module. It comes with this accelerator. It comes with the template, templates. It comes with the entire training materials, and then everything is going to be done within a less or a shorter window time frame. So where your business can see the better ROI, within weeks of time. And we will also help you in terms of engaging and then understanding your current, HR needs and challenges, and what kind of systems you have in place. And we can also analyze and help you, designing the complete HR transformation roadmap. And this is something that we can actually offer you as part of the, free of cost workshop demo kind of thing, which Nagesh mentioned. So we will be very excited and looking forward to help you out in any of your HR needs in the organization. And thank you everyone for taking out your precious time and joining this morning and this noon our session.
Thank you so much, Sharath. So with this, I would like to thank Nagesh and Sharath for providing us in-depth insight into today's topic. I would also like to thank all our attendees for taking out time and participating in the webinar today. Speakers, with your permission, I would like to close the session.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day ahead.